Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Hipster Podcast. This is your host, Jamil Hassan, the Crypto Hipster, where I bring you founders, entrepreneurs, executives, musicians, artists, executives, you name it, across the world of blockchain and crypto globally. And today I have an amazing guest. We're going to talk about gaming. And I'm looking forward to this one. We have an amazing guest. Her name is Ayelen Denov. She is the founder of Qubit. Ayelen, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being here today. And let's kick things off and ask you first, what is your background, including your entrepreneurial journey? And is it a logical background for what you do now?
Awesome. So as you mentioned, I'm co-founder, CEO of Qubit. It's a startup that started with a former colleague from Revolut. We've been working on this for over a year and a half, almost 2 years, and kind of going back from that point. Before that, we were both at Revolut in the crypto team. We left kind of in parallel and we started working together on Qubit. Before that, so before Revolut, I'm from Argentina. Actually, I started my career there. I majored in econ and started in Bain Company, so management consulting. I'd like to think there's a storyline there. So majoring in econ, started my career in consulting, then went to I don't want to say a real company, but more hands-on operational experience at Revolut, and then started working on our own thing.
Got it. So what is so how did Qubit, like, you have that path? How did Qubit come about? And what are you looking forward to the most with Qubit?
Yeah, so actually to take a step back, when we started working together, initially we were working on crypto indexes or ETFs, passive income products. Our main objective was to onboard non-crypto native people to the crypto world, to the DeFi world. So we started working on this early 2022. Then 2022 happened. Market conditions changed a lot. Market needs changed a lot. And essentially this was a custodial solution. And what we realized was that because of the reputational impact that crypto had suffered, in parallel to very strong and groundbreaking developments in terms of technology, there was no longer a trade-off between custody and UX in general. So account abstraction was more established and defined of what it entailed. Different, again, technological developments took place. So it was okay. Market needs change. There's this great technology development. And we started focusing on, okay, there's no need to onboard users using a custodial solution. That trade-off is no longer needed. And what account abstraction enables is to completely simplify how your wallet is created, how you manage it. There's a lot of things in there. I'm happy to double click, but to go back to your question, what I'm looking forward. Again, these type of technologies that will for sure help on making crypto more friendly without this trade-off of ownership and control over people's assets. That I think it's only fair that people manage their own assets and funds.
All right, so this was not on my bingo card, but I think we mentioned it, so I think it's worth discussing, right? You said 2022 you started, and the market changed dramatically, right? I noticed recently in the past really 90 days of my podcast is that my audience became a lot more millennial and almost no Gen X, and also became 75% men to 95% men. What market changes have you seen on your end, and how are you building what you build at Qubit to meet the new changed, market conditions with the special features you have and all that?
Yeah, so market changes that we noticed. For sure, so if we look back at the audience at 2021 and the beginning of 2022, that crypto was attracting. There was a lot of people who were quite keen into getting into the space without too much knowledge. There was a lot of noise and fuss in the industry, right? Which was great, but normally it correlates with a lot of mistakes. And the bull market make people less risk averse, and from the building side, there's a bigger rush to get products out, which might not be super healthy for the industry, right? So what we saw is a lot of these people who are very curious about what was going on, they don't have that much of a strong interest in crypto. They're more conservative into trying different products. From the building side, I think the bar was raised, right? So in a bear market, because there's less of a rush to get your product out and you're working against the clock, you have more time to build high quality products. So it's great to see that there's super strong teams building fantastic products out there. And in my opinion, this is going to be great for the next bull run. And again, the bar is going to be raised, better quality in terms of the products. Super smart people are still in the space and they are building, so that's great to see. What changed was this rush and need to get products out, and people being more aggressive on where they were deploying their money. So yeah, I think it slowed down a lot.
I agree. I'm seeing the slowdown in quality of building, right? I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing that you guys at Qubit have some special features that you built that will empower your users over the long run, right? How do those features with Qubit Wallet work?
Perfect. So to take a step back, we are building a smart contract wallet. What this means is that we are leveraging account abstraction. To quickly give like a one-liner, what is account abstraction, and start with that. Account abstraction is the division between the account, and by account, I mean the object holding the assets, and the signer. So the signer is the method to authorize moving assets or a transaction going through. So this decoupling or this division gives more flexibility on the signature verification process and how the accounts logic works. What does this flexibility imply when we're talking about features? So the first thing that is striking for most people, you don't need a seed phrase anymore. So this whole concept of getting a 12-word seed phrase that you need to write down in a notebook that you're hiding in your bookshelf in your house or trying to save somewhere, that's gone. So without the seed phrase, you can enable other methods to create a wallet. We have social login, multi-sig. So what this means is that the user comes in, they input their Gmail, let's say. We create a non-custodial wallet where you have one key that is sharded into 3 pieces. So let's say you have 3 keys, and you need to put together 2 of these 3 to approve a transaction. What are the consequences of this, or how is it helpful? The first one is that you always have a backup. So if one of your keys is lost or compromised, you can always recover access. And the second one is again, if one of these keys get compromised, let's say it lands with a bad actor, they would not be able to approve transactions. So your funds are safer. You have this recovery mode, so it's less lonely, the whole wallet management experience. So there's not a single point of failure. That's a very big one. And then, so from a security and UX angle, some other features that account abstraction enable, and they're quite handy for gaming, is you do not need to keep an ETH balance, for instance. You can pay, because of fee sponsoring, you can pay for transaction fees in other ERC20s, or you can delegate the payment of these transactions to the game. So if the game, for whatever reason, they want to cover all these transaction fees, they can do that. Or if the player wants to pay with USDC, USDT, or whatever ERC20 they have, they can do that. So when there's less friction when a player is interacting, again, with a game and doing a transaction and getting an in-game asset, it's a way smoother experience. Well played.
So you offer better security and less friction for gaming.
100%. Essentially, what we're trying to bring, games should be fun. Players want to play a game at the end of the day. The fact that there's a strong application of blockchain technology to gaming doesn't mean that we have to bring the complexity, right? So the player at the end of the day, they just want to get into a game, have fun. What blockchain enables is that the gamer has full control and ownership over the asset. So when a player buys an in-game asset, they bought a skin, whatever it is that they purchase, what happens in Web2 is that you don't own this asset. Actually, you cannot, it's not transferable, you cannot sell it. With blockchain, the player has full ownership of this asset. So let's say they don't want to play that game anymore. There will be a market where you can sell that, or you can lend it. It also unlocks a market for borrow and lending of assets. So the gamer, again, going back to the nature of games, people want to have fun in the game. And this is going back to that, right? To the core of what gaming is. And just improving it with blockchain technology, not bringing more pain points and friction, but actually just helping, going back to the core of what gaming means.
I like it. In general, I like it. And I want to know, you said a word earlier that that during the bear market, people are less aggressive. But I've seen with meme coins and gambling tokens, there is a lot of aggressiveness. And I know the history of gamers is gamers in crypto. Like, I didn't think people have been burned, but people have been burned in games in crypto. So what's the best way, to expand, the gaming to the Web3 world from people? What will it take to get people there? And how do you remove that aggressiveness so that people have fun and are not victimized by whatever rug pull or whatever there is out there?
Okay, so your question is around, just to clarify, how you can protect gamers from bad actors in games, or how the native token from a game is scoped, just to go into the right direction.
The first one, how do you protect the gamers who want to have fun from being, taken advantage of, and how do you protect them and how do you help them?
Yeah, so actually one of the pretty cool things that we have at Qubit Wallet, it's called session keys. It is enabled by account abstraction. And what the player can define, let's say they are connecting to a new game, they don't have too much background, they're trying out a very new game. With session keys, what you can define is what assets, what NFTs, and for how long that game has access to. So for instance, you're never exposing the total balance of your wallet. Worst case scenario, so let's say I'm trying this game, it's in Polygons, that I want the game to have access to X amount of Matic for a week. Worst case scenario, if something happens, if there's a bad actor, I don't know, maybe I connected to the wrong game, it was a scam, whatever it is, I would only be exposing exactly that amount of assets for that time frame. So that gives a lot more control to the user to not be exposing the whole wallet. And again, there's people spending a lot of time and a lot of money in games. You don't want to be connecting your wallet with everything in there to a new game that maybe you're not necessarily super comfortable with. So this gives like an extra layer of comfort and security for players to be on the safe side when trying out a new game. And again, there's a lot of new games that gladly there's a lot of teams working on launching games every single day. So I think we're trying to bring that comfort to players to try them out while being on the safe side.
I like the session keys. I like the idea a lot. How do you, what some other onboarding measures that I think we can take that are necessary that will be helpful over the long term?
Definitely, yeah. Other measures that players can have in place or that we can offer?
Yeah.
From a wallet standpoint, well, again, going back to like the security things that account abstraction enables, session keys, multi-sig, social recovery in case one of the keys is compromised. I would also encourage everyone to do their due diligence, as always, right? There's a lot of products out there that are being launched. Some are great, some maybe you don't know that much. And I think that's probably one of the lessons that we have from 2022. Try not to rush into projects or products, and try to do your diligence on what you're connecting to. Again, to be on the safe side, no one wants to lose money or have a bad experience. I do think blockchain is a great technology, and there's a lot going on, but again, it's also very early. Sometimes it's with no bad intentions, but there's mistakes done along the way. And I think, yeah, one of the good lessons is for people to be a bit more cautious on where they're connecting their wallets or where they are interacting. Yeah.
Awesome. So we got beyond the security issues. We got to the future. Let's talk about money. Like, I interviewed some founders in gaming earlier this year, and they explained to me, and last year the play to earn was in favor, and this year apparently it's fallen out of favor. But you want to incentivize new gamers to monetize their experience, right? How do you do that at Qubit, and how should we do that going forward if the play to earn model is no longer in place? What do you see as the ability for gamers to make money on what they're playing games?
Well, I'm not necessarily against play to earn, to be honest, as a concept. There's players investing a lot of time and deploying a lot of money into different games. And I do see as fair that they're being rewarded in some way. I think what happened was that the focus was very much on the earn part and not so much on the play. So it was like a fun economy where you could make money instead of a fun game that has an economy around it. So again, going back to this concept of games should be fun for the sake of being fun. That's why games were created originally. I do believe that because people are spending a lot of money, a lot of time, it is fair to reward them. And that's one of the things that blockchain and Web3 allows or brings into the gaming space compared to Web2. But I do think we need to flip that, right? From comparing to the previous market where it was very much about earning and not so much about playing. I do think that it's fair to have an economy around it that is rewarding gamers. At the end of the day, there's people who are playing professionally, so we can't deny that there's an economic aspect in gaming these days.
An economic aspect, and the world changed because after COVID, where people are playing, you're not filling out these arenas, right? So it's not quite. It stopped being fun for the sake of being fun. How do you restore that?
Well, I think there's now a big push to focus on making a fun game, and hopefully in the next couple of months we will move away from, oh, this game is fun for being a Web3 game, and it's just going to be, oh, this game is fun, period. We're still quite early stage, and I think there's still that component of, oh, for a crypto game, that's cool. It should just be a fun game. The fact that it's using blockchain shouldn't be a constraint or a restriction or a negative connotation or whatever. I think there's great teams working on bringing AAA games and really cool games to the market. The bar is way higher. Gamers are looking for fun and less on the economic aspect. So I think naturally we're moving towards that and efforts and our focus on bringing fun back to games.
I never thought it like that, but you remove the qualifier instead of I like the idea of removing the qualifier, right?
Yeah.
To do that, you said there are a lot of teams here building. The way I understand is that you have to build a stack that is quick to change as the market changes, right? You have to be able to be quick to adapt. And a lot of gaming companies altogether fail because they can't, right? How are you building agilely? How are you building quick to be adaptable? How are you situating yourself so that as the industry changes and as things change, that you can adapt quickly?
Well, that's a good question. How do you keep at the same pace as the market changes? I think that's in general, right? That's the nature of building a company and building a startup. How do you make sure you're listening to the needs? So I think there's two aspects. One is user facing, and the other one like back end facing, I'm going to call it. So user facing is following, again, needs. I think we have a good understanding of what are the gamers' needs and what they're looking for. It will take some time to get there. Again, there's high quality fun games that hopefully very soon we're going to have in the market. So that's one thing. You need to be very on top of those needs, and that's across, irrespective of crypto, right? That's just building a product for users. That's how you should think about it. And technology wise, the crypto community is actually super tied in. I find it quite amazing, to be honest. There's a strong community around account abstraction, and with supportive different companies building in the space. And everyone's maybe trying to solve the same issue, but with different angles. We're not mutually exclusive. We understand that it's not one winner takes it all. Different solutions will find their own space in the market. And it's great to see different companies that maybe from the outside you would see, oh, they are actually competitors, and everyone's working together, super collaborative, and staying on top of new EAPs and developments that are happening on Ethereum or L2s. And yeah, again, that I like about the space, to be honest, that they're super smart people, super collaborative. Everyone's happy to jump on a call and stay on top of the latest technological developments. So I would say kind of, yeah, these two different angles.
Thank you. So you definitely see a multi-chain world.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think there's going to be one that fits every need.
Great. So then, why, based on your entrepreneurial journey, based on what this experience you have, why will you succeed in your mission and vision, whereas other companies fail?
Okay, so I'm quite confident of the gaming space and this being a very strong pain point. I'm super bullish about the application of blockchain technology to gaming. And I think the vast majority of people would agree with that. It's almost undeniable that for that you need an easier onboarding, you need a better wallet experience, and less complexity, make a smoother experience. I'm also quite confident about the team that we have at Qubit and the quality of the products we are working. At the end of the day, it will be the players on the game deciding, but yeah, without showing off or trying to be shilling about it, I'm super comfortable that this is a big pain point that will be solved. I'm quite confident with the great team that we have at Qubit.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing your games and what you're doing, and I love the concept of this of the onboarding, of the account abstraction, and of the session especially key. I really think that's a great idea. I've been hacked through MetaMask where there wasn't on a session timer, so I like it. So let me thank you very much, for your time today. I really enjoyed speaking with you, and I look forward to what Qubit's up to. And my last question is this: how can people find out more information about you, about Qubit? How can they start playing the games? How can they get involved? Become part of your ecosystem? How can they do that?
Yeah, so they can find us on qubitwallet.xyz. Same for Twitter, Discord. We are now kicking off a beta tester program. So I encourage people to sign up for that and get early access.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.